What is going on with my YouTube family and what's happening with my YouTube savages? I hope each and every single one of you guys are having an absolutely amazing, blessed, beautiful, and of course a divine start to your Sunday morning, guys. You already see what the savages out here doing early side in Canton, Ohio. I woke up this morning and looked outside and I was like, sheesh, is that you, sunshine? So I went outside, drank my coffee, and when I felt how warm it actually is out here today, I was like, listen, I have to go out there to the riverbank and give the savages a little session. Even if I wasn't planning on doing a video, guys, I was going to come out here today anyway. Not sure how many more times I'm going to be able to come out here. This is pretty much my favorite spot of the summer of 24. I absolutely love it out here, man. It's so quiet. There are barely any other people out here ever when I come out here, so it's usually just me hogging all this beauty up to my savage self. Before we even get into today's session though, guys, quick disclaimer for the YouTube community guidelines. Nobody featured in this video or any of my videos is under the age of 21 and or holds their Ohio licensed medical marijuana card through the state of Ohio. There are no minors featured in any of my videos, guys, not now, not literally ever, and all the content that I do upload to the channel for you savages is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Now that we got that beat up and busted right on out the way, drop it in the comments what you guys are about to be burning on during the course of today's video. I absolutely always love seeing that, and drop it in the comments what you guys would like to see me do a review on next. If any of you savages enjoy this video, man, hit it with a big fat thumbs up. That helps the channel as a whole more than you guys could possibly imagine, man. The more likes we get on these videos, the more that YouTube's algorithm actually decides to circulate the content around to people who have never seen the channel before. So we go ahead and get some potential new savages to join that savage army, and there ain't never nothing wrong with that, guys. Am I right? And if any of you savages dislike this video, go ahead and hit it with a thumbs down and drop it in the comments why you guys disliked it and what you would like to see me do better in the next video, guys. So in terms of what I'm about to be twisting up, guys, it's going to be one of two things. I've got some of that GMO cross in here, some of the Snickers, and then I've got some of that Blue OG. It's a little hard to differentiate the two. I've kind of got both of them in the same bag, but one of them is a lot more purple, so I'm about to get these out on the rolling tray and figure that out, guys. Most likely going to be doing the Blue OG because I've already done some content with the Snickers, guys. A very nice tasting GMO cross, very funky, almost a little bit woody. I think it's a biscotti, man, a biscotti in GMO. I'm not sure. I can't tell you guys for sure because this is all from the homies, some plug stuff. I wish I knew the genetics for sure, guys, but that's what we're going to be toking on here. Give me 1 second and we're going to twist one up. I hope you guys are about to twist something up that just smells absolutely stupid, looks stupid, and is going to have y'all feeling stupid by the end of this video. We're going to have a nice little session, man. It is gorgeous out here this morning, guys. Alright, savages, I'm going to go ahead and go with that Blue OG just like I mentioned in last night's video. Me and Mrs. Savage already burned through a couple doobies of this stuff on our own time. Nap time after those doobies, guys. This stuff is a very nice indica. I wish I knew the genetics like I just mentioned a minute ago, guys. If I had to guess, this stuff, well, I'm going to get into it in just a second. We're just going to break this stuff down live for you guys. You guys want to see what this stuff is looking like in nug form? I did upload a short yesterday morning of the Blue OG. Stuff looks absolutely dumb silly. Very, very sticky, guys. Actually, I forgot. I uploaded a second short. I literally pulled the entire quarter of flower literally out by a stem, and all of it compacted and stuck together in the little jar that Mrs. Savage put the stuff in. Literally came out like a brick of weed. It was absolutely insane, guys. Color on here, very, very light green. There are no purples in here whatsoever. We've got some orange hairs, and the smell, oh my goodness. Smells like a gassier type of OG with a slight and subtle candy type of aroma towards the end there, guys. Interesting. Well, while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and show you savages how I like to roll my doobies, because if I would have never been corrected by one of my close friends a couple of years ago, I'd probably still be rolling the ends of my joints way too tight and getting way too much resonation on the lips, because that's kind of what happens, guys, if you roll the ends of your joints too tight. So the way that I used to roll, guys, I would literally always roll from the very ends of the doobie and kind of twist it up that way. And what would happen most of the time, guys, you would get very, very tight ends of your doobie, which is not what you want whatsoever. Most of the time time, you're probably like gonna end up cutting that tip off anyway to avoid the resonation, and then you're gonna be getting like a pregnant middle of your joint. Literally, guys, nobody wants that. Anyway, savages, nevertheless, I'm feeling a little bit tongue-tied this morning, guys. I ain't even hit no herb yet. Check the video that we just uploaded last night. I was actually gonna do a little tolerance fix today, but it's so gorgeous out here on this fine and divine Sunday morning. We're gonna go ahead and get a little wake and bake sesh today, probably hit the tolerance fix tomorrow. Anyway, guys, the way that I like to roll my doobies now to avoid getting those very tight ends of your joint is to kind of roll from the middle of the joint, guys. And as long as you've got some flour that's even a little bit sticky, it should roll up no problem. Now, just to show you guys what I'm talking about here, right? Let's get down in here. I'm not talking about the actual middle of the doobie, but a little offset. So you're going to want to put one finger right here and one finger right here and kind of just do like you normally would do. Get that log of weed all logged up. And like I said, guys, as long as you're dealing with sticky flour, you should have no problem. And just go down and up, down and up. That's going to log it up real nice so that it rolls a little bit easier. Get that paper all the way down to the bottom. Some people do this, and I even do this sometimes to make it a little bit easier on myself. Put your index fingers across the lining right here once you guys got the log all formed and all ready to go. And just kind of, yeah, just like one of those joint machines, guys. Essentially, you're just using your index fingers instead of using the joint roller. You guys know what I'm talking about. I absolutely freaking hate those things. I really, really do, guys. It's not that hard to teach yourself how to roll a doobie, but there are correct ways and incorrect ways. And something I used to get so freaking defensive about that, guys. I rolled a doobie up into like a big circle sesh one time with my ex-girlfriend and some of her homies, and literally got called out because I rolled a joint just like I was explaining to you savages, with the ends tight as a mother effer, resin all over your lips. And she called me out right then and there and taught me how to roll this way. And as much as I hate to freaking admit it, guys, ever since then, I don't have that problem with the ends of my doobies. I'm just saying. Regardless, guys, I've got this one twisted up. Let's go ahead and go on down here by the riverbank and see what she is smoking on. Drop it in the comments what you guys just got finished rolling up and what you're about to light up. And let's have a nice little savage session, guys. Not too sure if this is actually crossed with Blue Zushi. I've only ever had that strain once, and it was from one grower. But, I mean, and I'm not just getting this because it's called Blue OG Savages, but I am kind of getting those notes when it comes to the smell and dry hitting this. First off, it's kind of hard to put the flavor profile of Blue Zushi into words. I'm going to have to definitely circle back around to that strain. It was something that was very, very popular for a little bit of time. It still kind of is. Definitely nowhere near as popular as it was at one point in time, though, especially in other states. Let's see if I can find somewhere to post up out here in the sunlight, guys, and just check it out down here, man, by the actual riverbank. Just absolutely freaking beautiful, guys. And it's been a couple weeks since I've actually made it out here. I cannot believe we're still getting days like this, weather-wise, where it's nice enough to come out and take a nice little walk in the morning. But guys, nobody else out here. Perfect place for a session, man. Let's just get right on into it. The Blue OG from the homeboy. Let's get it. I don't know if this is actually going to pan out, savages. It's a little bit risky, but I've got my camera set up on this freaking huge stone that's literally in the middle of the river. Well, not in the middle of the river, but it's definitely inside of the river, guys. I got water surrounding me on all sides of this stone right here. Let me just show you guys. And I am notorious for breaking my camera, so here's hoping that doesn't happen. Let's just get right on into this, man. Cheers. The Blue OG from the homie, and everything that I've been getting from him lately, guys, has been absolutely freaking fire. The Gelinade, I wish I still had even one doobie of that stuff left. Me and Mrs. Savage burned through that bag absolutely fast as F, quicker than your head could spin. It was fire, though, guys. Best Gelinade I've ever had, hands down. In terms of the flavor and in terms of the effect, I mean, super smooth stuff on the inhale, but at the same time, oh, just expanded the lungs. And then the flavor, man, I'm talking, that was some flour that literally, on a doobie anyway, literally, it didn't taste to its full potential until pretty much the roach. I mean, every few hits, it's just better and better and better. That's my kind of flour, guys. Cheers. Holy crap. It's a little bit windy out here today, savages. Cheers. It's a little bit early for me to be puffing on something that's this heavily indica dominant as well. But it's all that I've got right now, savages. So, beggars can't be choosers. I would definitely... See, I was thinking about this morning, guys. If I only had to pick one for the rest of my life, would I rather smoke on sativa, hybrid, or indica? You know what? Let's just simplify that even a little bit more. Sativa versus indica. If I had to choose one for the rest of my days, which one I would actually go with, and maybe I have to put a little bit more thought into this before giving a definitive answer, but right off the top of my head, I might honestly go ahead and say sativa, guys, just because of like my medical conditions and the way that the stuff interacts with my body personally. Everybody's body reacts differently to every single strain. That's a given, guys. And right off the bat on this, oh my goodness, that tastes so freaking good. It's very hard to pinpoint exactly what this tastes like. It's similar to a couple different things. Right away though, I'm getting some heavy gas. Oh my goodness, just like a good OG. But I'm getting on the back end on that exhale, guys. And the more this joint burns down, the more pronounced this flavor profile is probably going to be tasting, guys. That's how it was for the last two doobies that I tried of this stuff. But I'm getting some candy vibes on that exhale right on the back end. This is mostly gas, guys, honestly. And I mean mostly gas, not too much else. I'm not getting too much pine here. Not even really any citrus. And for an OG cross, guys, look at that freaking ash. Even in this lighting, you guys can see how nice and clean this stuff is burning. Absolutely divine. We're already starting to cultivate a ring on the tip of the J as well. Little mini rapid review on the stuff from the plug. This Blue OG in terms of the burn, guys, I'm gonna say just purely based on the color of that freaking ash right there, guys. Look at that. Just started ripping on this doobie. It's not even the biggest joint on God's green earth. Completely rounded out cherry, almost completely chalk white. Maybe a little bit of pepper in here, but barely any at all. Just on the color, guys. Not even to mention the fact that it's starting to get nice and milky on the tip of that J as well. Sheesh. Scratch that, guys. It's bleeding. Look at that. Holy freaking crap. And the camera's not doing it all the justice that I wish it was right now, guys. But even on this 720p camera and not the greatest lighting, we got natural lighting out here. That looks absolutely freaking exquisite. The Blue OG. Oh my goodness, that's getting a 9 flat out of 10 on the burn. I just have to, guys. There's not much that I'm complaining about whatsoever. The color, it's rounded out. Smooth on the inhale, by the way, guys. This is some very tasty and terpy stuff. And at the same time, giving me some nice lung expansion, just like that Gelinade. Not quite as pronounced as the Gelinade, though, guys. That stuff was some absolute freaking gas. I'll tell you what, guys, kind of unrelated to the topic at hand, but I woke up this morning just feeling literally so freaking grateful, man. Grateful for quite a few different things. But overall, for me personally, just from where I've came from, guys, to where I'm at now, sometimes, man, life is so busy. We all know this. And when you're chasing the bag, you're chasing love, you're chasing all these different things, pleasing family members. And me, guys, I had a problem for the longest time trying to be a people pleaser. I found out real quick and in a hurry, but not quick enough, that that's not the way to go, man. You can try your best to please as many people as you possibly can, but if you're trying that hard to please everyone else, you're robbing yourself of satisfaction and happiness that you absolutely need to be able to do that for anybody else in the first place, guys. And that was Average Savage for a very long time, and I'm not even ashamed to admit that, guys. The fact that I was a people pleaser for so long in such a big amount of time, inevitably, guys, I went a long amount of time without actually sitting down and just giving some deep thought, meditation, and really some consideration into how far God has actually brought me in my own life. From being, at one point in time, guys, a IV heroin addict, and I don't say that lightly, man. That's exactly the type of past that I've had. Check out Storytime Episode 1, How I Overcame Addiction, which is just one of the many severely dark things that I used to go through at one point in time in my life, guys. Absolutely insane. We'll just take that one right there. The fact that I used to really have a huge freaking problem and huge chemical dependence upon hard substances, guys, hard drugs and alcohol as well, which is crazy because even back then I didn't even like the way that I felt off of alcohol, but my chemical dependency was so strong, especially in my mind, that I would even get drunk almost on a daily basis just to escape like the mindset that I had baseline without intaking any type of chemicals. I would literally take stuff that I didn't even like the way it made me feel because I still liked that feeling more than the feeling that I had just waking up naturally, if that makes sense, guys. The fact that I was a excuse me, savages, a people pleaser for so much time. I mean, way more time than it should have lasted. I'll just put it like that, guys, because there were plenty of people who showed me, like, in real life, like, you don't need to be doing that, because if you do, you're gonna get burned, son. But just being the fact that I was focusing on other people and their lives more than my own for so long, guys, I went a very long amount of time without sitting and just truly being appreciative and being grateful to God for everything that He actually has brought me through. Because even standing here today, recording a video, smoking a bone for you savages, having my very own weed channel, that to me, like 5 years ago, guys, if you would have told me that was the reality I was living, and just one part of my life that would be different, I would have never believed you guys. That's how far deep I was sucked into that darkness, that dark pit of literally just nothingness, a life of actual hell on earth. Now, guys, I don't know what it was, man. I woke up this morning and just an overwhelming feeling of positivity overcame me. And while I was taking a little shower this morning or whatever, guys, maybe that's TMI. Anyway, it's related to the story. It just hit me, guys. A thought just popped into my head like, John, you're almost literally living a freaking dream, dude. Like, think about how bad your life was like 5 years ago. You used to pray to God every single day, sometimes with tears in your eyes, sometimes with literal, like, anger in your blood. You know, you wanted it so bad. Look at where you're at now. And I say that to say this. Sometimes, and I am bad with this especially, man, me personally, and not everybody might suffer with these problems, and not everybody might actually have trouble with some of this stuff, but me personally, guys, I'm one of the people who did for a while, and I still have problems with it to this day sometimes, putting other people above my own needs, because at the end of the day, guys, if you're not meeting your own needs, how could you actually help anybody else, right? Believe it or not, it sounds like common sense, but man, I had the hardest time grasping that and wrapping my head around it and actually taking action to change it. By the way, guys, flavor on this freaking doob right now, absolutely exquisite. It tastes delicious, gassy, really overall, and that's the most like potent flavor that's hitting me in the face right now, still halfway down on the doobie, but that candiness is kind of really showing its head a little bit more. And if you guys couldn't tell, I'm starting to get kind of baked, man. I would usually never smoke this strong of an indica this early in the day, but screw it, man. It's Sunday, fine and divine today. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the sun is blinding damn near, guys, but I absolutely freaking love it, man. I'm already freaking chinked, cheesed up out here early side on Sunday morning, and I'm feeling great, man. I hope you guys are feeling great too. Anyway, I'm rambling, man. Too many thoughts and ideas in my mind at one time, guys. But nevertheless, just thinking for the first time in a long time, like how far I've actually come from all the stuff that I used to be involved in at one point in time, guys. Sobriety really only being one little thing. I mean, it's not little, guys, but back then I had way too much crap in my life going on at one point in time. It was absolutely freaking ridiculous. But I find myself these days, without even realizing it, stressing myself out about stuff that just... maybe it's not that it doesn't matter, but in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter? Does it matter enough to be sitting here stressing myself out over it to the extent that I do sometimes, guys? And I get like a little bit obsessive about things, like I hyper focus on one or two things at one time. Literally sometimes feels like I cannot shut my brain off. I hate it sometimes, but sometimes I also love it, because sometimes that's exactly the motivation that has helped me change my life into what it's starting to turn into today, which is an absolute blessing, and I am eternally grateful for the life that I'm living today. It's almost like a second chance at life, man. I literally used to look so bad, guys. I used to look sick every single day because I was sick every single day. And all these little things that I find myself stressing out over now, man, all I gotta do is think back to those days and they start to seem smaller and smaller and smaller. Like, I really need to get better at reminding myself, like, man, you've come through so much worse than this. Like, you need to get your head out of your savage ass. If this helps anybody out there, man, I guess it's worth saying. But one of the things that really started helping me change my life into what it is today, getting sober and clean from drugs and alcohol, was definitely one of them. And I know that there's some people out there who's going to say, yeah, but you're still smoking weed. Yes, but I have a medical license for it. I use it medicinally, guys. Sometimes I use it recreationally. Let's just be real. But that's my decision, and I still function and have become more successful while smoking weed than I ever did doing the stuff that I did at one point in time in my life, guys. I'm just going to say that. Maybe that's an excuse. I'll give you guys that, but it's what I enjoy. And if it doesn't really keep you guys from going where you need to go in life or want to go in life, it's really all up to personal preference, man. And being a believer in God, I kind of wrestle with that sometimes, even today, Savages. Like, is it okay to be a Christian and still smoke weed? I look at it kind of like this, and there is scripture in the word that you could kind of reference to. Off the top of my head, I'm not going to be able to give you guys exactly what scriptures those are, but if anybody really wants to see them, after I make it back to the crib, I'll pull them up for you, Savages. But this is a natural herb that comes from the earth, and everything that is of the earth is for mankind. And it says it just like that in the Bible, guys. Maybe not word for word like the way I said it. The Bible says it a lot better and cleaner than I ever could anyway, guys. And this is actually a really different off-the-cuff type video, but I woke up this morning just feeling like, man, I'm eternally and just spiritually grateful for all the stuff that I've come through in my life, even the bad times, man, because without any of that stuff, I wouldn't be where I'm at today or who I am today. And somebody just reminded me of that about a week ago, man, and it's just, mindset truly almost is everything. I say almost because you could still have the best mindset in the world, but having a great mindset alone is not gonna help you kind of overcome the obstacles that life throws at all of us. Life is really like a big video game, man, and we're all kind of just trying to level up our character. Am I right? I get so off track so easily, Savages. Real quick, the flavor on here is absolutely dumb stupid. I do get a slight Blue Zushi vibe off of this, but it's been a little bit since I've tried that stuff, and I've only had it one time, one batch from one grower, guys. That's not really enough experience with that strain for me to say confidently, but overall this tastes like a very gassy OG. I'm not getting too much pine, ant, or citrus off of this in terms of the flavor. It's being replaced with that, like, it's a candy vibe, guys, but it's hard to put your finger on, and there's a little bit of earthiness in there as well. The reason I'm thinking it might be crossed with the Blue Zushi right now is because, like, I don't know, guys, there's like a slight aftertaste that really reminds me of that strain in a way that's subtle, almost like fishiness, guys. A very, very subtle flavor, but I am getting it. And if my thoughts seem all over the place this morning, guys, it's probably because they are a little bit. I've had a lot of stuff hit me all in 1 year, guys. It has been an absolutely crazy and amazing year, man. Amazing overall, but still pretty wicked, man. The pace of it, so many different things have changed since the beginning of the year to now. I am not even close to the same person I was at the beginning of the year till now, and I guess I woke up this morning unintentionally kind of reflecting on all of that, guys. Really didn't even intend to talk about any of that during this video, but it all just kind of hit me, guys. Anyway, if I had to give the flavor a rating on this Blue OG, 8.8 out of 10. I would say it's very close to tippy top shelf on the flavor, and maybe some people would actually consider this top shelf on flavor. Still a very nice, very smooth taste on here, guys. Smooth on the inhale while at the same time giving you some nice lung expansion, letting you know that it is some dizzity dank, and this stuff is pretty freaking dank, guys. It's not extremely, like, funky. It's not on the funky side of things, but it is heavily gassy with that, like, almost slightly tart and earthy candy vibe on the exhale, guys. It's definitely different. I haven't had too many things in the last, like, few months that have tasted similar to this. Even the OGs that I have done on the channel. signature Scooby snack. I guess that's the one downside to not using a filter tip. But if you guys are new to the channel, the reason I don't rock with cones is just because of the flavor aspect alone. You're combusting it at such a higher temperature just because of the way that it's rolled and stuff, guys. All that extra air in the cone itself, as opposed to hand rolling it, which most of the time I would say burns at a lower temperature, as long as you're not rolling like 2 grams in a 1 1/4 inch paper or anything like that. You guys know what I'm saying. I do feel a little bit tongue-tied this morning, savages. Can't put my finger on it. I mean, sometimes talking about my past does feel a little bit uncomfortable. I like to kind of keep that stuff to myself, but at the same time, I don't know, man. I think and wonder these days, like, a lot, actually. Oftentimes, all the stuff that I've been through in my life, it would almost be like irresponsible to not share what helped me get through it, because statistically, man, like, the number of people that succumb to drug addiction is absolutely insane, especially in the city that I'm living in, guys, Canton, Ohio. And if you guys are out here in Canton, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So boom, flavor 8.8. The burn's getting a 9 in the effect overall. You guys see my eyes and you hear these lips. I'm just rambling all over the place, guys. I don't have an actual, like, guided, directed point. And I'm feeling absolutely amazing this morning, man. I woke up feeling extremely grateful. I woke up, extremely positive feeling this morning, guys, which isn't really out of the ordinary. I've definitely done a lot of work to try and cultivate more positivity into my daily life. But I literally woke up this morning feeling almost like a kid again. And I know that sounds crazy, and it kind of is, because I literally think about that a lot, actually, guys. Just that feeling that we used to have as young kids, growing up in this world, trying to navigate, trying to figure things out, trying to learn, like, what are we all doing on this rock together, guys? You know what I mean? But that specific feeling of growing up as a kid and just having your childhood, man, like, that's kind of what it felt like when I woke up this morning. I don't even know how else to describe it. I'm freaking baked, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got absolutely baked there along with me. Didn't mean to get into all that personal stuff, guys, but that's kind of the way I'm feeling this morning, dude. I'm just feeling, like, extremely grateful for all the stuff that I've come through in the last few years, because at one point in time, man, I honestly thought that I'd be dead by this age. I'm not even kidding you, man. When I was doing that stupid drug that I used to do and drinking almost every single day, like, I barely even ever had a relationship with weed at that point. I pretty much just gave weed up so I could do all those other drugs, doing Xanax and Adderall and doing, you know, my drug of choice at the time, guys, heroin. Just absolutely freaking insane that I am where I'm. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I never thought that it would happen. I really never did. And it's crazy that I've spent like that long without kind of thinking about that. I've allowed a lot of like little things lately to stress me out to the point that it's like I can't even believe I would get stressed out about these little things and not remember the days that I used to just wake up so sick every single day, never being able to escape it unless you did a chemical, guys, a substance, not knowing if it would kill you the next time that you took it. By the way, guys, if I had to rate this Blue OG overall, didn't even mean to get all serious in today's video, guys, but if the message helps anybody out, that's kind of what I'm going for here, man. Like, it just felt heavy on my heart, so I figured I'd talk with you guys about it. But anyway, if I had to rate this Blue OG, I'd say, it tastes freaking immaculate. The stickiness and the freshness on the buds themselves, chefity kiss. Man, I think I'm actually going to give this one an 8.9 out of 10. I'm absolutely freaking sizzled. I want to give it top shelf ranges so bad. Maybe it deserves a 9 out of 10. I'm so freaking baked, guys, I can barely think about it. But yeah, 8.9 out of 10 because that's what I went with first. And I mean, some of you guys might say 9. It definitely burned great. I'd say if it was a more complete ring, we didn't really achieve the full 360 degrees around the tip of the joint. The ash couldn't have been too much whiter, I'm just going to be honest. And it was rounded out almost straight away. You guys know that I love seeing that on the burn of the joint. And man, the flavor, it was predominantly gassy, guys, with some of that candy flavored stuff on the back end, and it's very hard to pinpoint exactly what that candy flavor is because it doesn't taste like any one thing. It almost tastes like a mixture of a couple things. It tastes like the bright fruitiness of a sour dream a little bit. It tastes earthy a little bit like the blue Zushi, and a little bit tart like some candy fumes. So all that melding together, and it's only on the back end. Front and center rather, guys. I'm freaking baked, don't mind me. It's tasting gassy from that OG. I really wish I knew the genetics on here, guys, but the stuff was good enough that I felt like I needed to make a video out of it for you savages. So nevertheless, I do hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I hope each and every single one of you guys are feeling absolutely amazing this morning, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers, savages, and I hope you have an absolutely blessed and savage rest of your day. Peace.